Hi, I'm Jerry Nagel.
I'm Kathy Jourdain. We are the co-founders of Worldview Intelligence. We have been working with Worldview Intelligence over the last 15 years or so, bringing it to many different client situations, whether it be working with teams that want to work together better or have had some challenges in the past, working with merged organizations where they're wanting to bring company cultures together, working with organizations who are wanting to create more coherent company culture and policies, with strategic planning, with leading change. And over the course of our work with Worldview Intelligence, we've discovered that as we've reflected on it, that there are many through lines through all of this work, which really takes us to what we're now calling healthy teams and healthy workplace culture. It's a really exciting next evolution of our work. And all of the worldview patterns, practices, models that we've created over the years form the basis of a strong, healthy workplace culture, the foundation of a healthy workplace culture. This is an introduction to a healthy workplace culture as a strategic investment. And this is the first of 7 videos, which will all be linked together, which will enable you to learn more about what a healthy workplace culture is and how to build and sustain one inside of your organization. So I'm going to speak to you right now. First of all, I want to talk for a moment about this slide, which is how companies with a healthy workplace culture perform, which is essentially how they perform better than companies that do not have a healthy workplace culture. And this is just one slide that carries statistics of the many that we have within the Worldview Intelligence and Healthy Workplace Culture database. 27% reduction in turnover, 76% more employee engagement, 50% more productivity, 67% greater likelihood employees will use new skills in the job, 74% less stress reported by employees, which essentially means that they're feeling better at work and they're more able to perform. They have greater satisfaction, a greater likelihood of collaboration, and they have better skills. They're more prepared for addressing things in the workplace. All of this actually translates into dollars. And in our healthy workplace culture work, we share quite a bit of information on the benefits and returns of investing in a healthy workplace culture. For now, I'm just going to the overview of the presentation, or all of the presentation is contained here in this slide, but essentially we want to provide an understanding of why a healthy workplace culture is a strategic choice. And we do have a 4-part online series for creating and sustaining a workplace culture that we'll be talking about throughout all of the presentations. The main thing that I want to say in this slide, there's some descriptions of what a healthy workplace culture looks like, or the characteristics of it. And the main thing is that in a healthy workplace culture, employees thrive. And when they thrive, they're more likely to want to stay engaged with your organization or with their team. They are better contributors. They are more productive. In a healthy workplace culture, relationships are strong. Organizational goals are shared and well-defined. Roles and responsibilities and accountabilities are all clear, and there is decision-making clarity and transparency as well. And all of these things contribute to a workplace being healthy and employees being engaged.
Thank you, Kathy. So, based on that work experience that Kathy described, we found more and more that our clients really wanted to focus on workplace culture. When we looked at that and looked at the data that Kathy identified, and what and surveys were telling us about how employees are responding to workplace culture circumstances, we identified 5 key elements of a healthy workplace culture. What's important about identifying 5 elements is it helps us then become more strategic in our efforts to create a new, healthy workplace culture, or expand upon what we have. So these 5 components: worldview and team leadership, psychological safety and belonging, communication and transparency, employee and stakeholder engagement, Metrics and assessments are all things we can give attention to. Each of these components has elements of them that we can focus on. Under worldview and team leadership, we focus on worldview intelligence and the 6 dimensions framework and high performance teams. In psychological safety and belonging, we address some of the new knowledge that have emerged in the past decade or so on neuroscience and behavioral science and how that all affects our feelings of inclusion and belonging and how to work more effectively with human behaviors. In communication and transparency, we talk about how communications actually can be quite complex. And how there's so much more than just talking and surveys and so on, and how human behavior affects how we communicate. And so the importance of consistency and the role of communications, and importantly, transparency in decision making. In employee stakeholder engagement, how we engage with employees can make a significant difference in the effectiveness of that engagement. We provide an overview of how one can use the responsive planning framework to plan and develop a good employee engagement or stakeholder engagement initiative and identify practices that can be used. And finally, metrics and assessments. And we know that that's sort of the dreaded activity of the workplace, but good metrics and assessment processes can be very beneficial to individuals and teams and the entire workplace. And so we get very specific about the elements of metrics and assessment. So the 4-part series has 4 sessions that dive deeply into the first 4 components of a healthy team workplace culture. We take the metrics and assessment component and weave it throughout each of these 4 so we know how we can measure team leadership or psychological safety or how effective our communications are. And so these 4 components or sessions are good deep dives. And after completing the 4-part program, participants will leave with the elements of a good implementation plan for bringing healthy workplace culture into their organization. So we want to thank you for joining us in this introductory video today. And you can find more information at worldviewprograms.com. And Kathy, do you have something you would like to add here?
Yeah, I would just add that in the subsequent videos that follow this, there are 6 more. We describe each of the elements. We offer a practice for each, and we say a little bit more about what's going to be offered in the 4-part series that makes it a valuable investment for a team leader, a small company on the verge of change that might be wanting to grow, or organizational leaders to participate.
Thank you for joining us today.